Since the Sandbox fans, we're back in the Sandbox studio. We hope you guys enjoyed our first video talking some football, the Deshaun Watson scenario. We're back to talk some basketball. And guys, obviously it's still early in the season. We're right around that 15-17 game mark. If you guys want to hear the Since the Sandbox power rankings, you guys can tune into those next week. But right now we're going to talk about the top two contenders in the East and the West this year. We know it's still early in the season, but guys, some of the top teams in the league are definitely not the top teams that I thought were going to be up there. Kev, we were talking about this earlier. I didn't think the 76ers, as of right now, would be a top 2 seed, and they are. Luke corrected me on that. But we don't want to talk about seeding. We want to talk about contenders. So who are you guys' two biggest threats in the East and the West?
Philly and the Nets. I think it's easy. Just Brooklyn has the best 3. No one can score with them. And the best player in the East by like a long shot. And then, with Philly, dude, Embiid's good for 30 and 15 a night. Simmons is good. They play great defensively. Doc has them in line. Tobias Harris is a great third option. They have a good bench. They play D. They're physical. I wish I could put the Celtics there. I need to see Tatum on the floor, like with the COVID protocols. It really stinks that he's not there. But they put up some good fights. It's just we'll see what happens. And the Nets need a big man because DeAndre Jordan is spin dried and washed.
No, I hear that. And I think it's a little complicated because obviously, like we said, we're talking about the Celtics. Yeah, Twan DeSimone. I'm repping my JT shirt.
And I'm repping the Luka. Shout out John Baca.
He's got a baseball headband on.
Exactly, I do.
But yeah, it's definitely tough with the Celtics. Things aren't going the way they want right now, and that's not because of their play. It's because just all things COVID. But I do still have the Celtics as one of my top 2 contenders in the East, and obviously I have to put the Nets in there. And I don't want to discredit the 76ers, but I just think that there comes a point in time in every season that Embiid and Simmons, whether that's at the same time or at opposite times, get hurt. And I'm expecting that, and I know that we can't prepare or project injuries like that, but we haven't seen a season where it hasn't happened. So I want to see how that 76ers team can be through injury. With Doc, maybe they do have the right leader to, have them on the right pace. Seth Curry there. Their bench is a little different than it was in the past. So I think that they do have a great team, and the 76ers, it's bust. It's now or bust for them, honestly. They got to put it together. But Embiid's playing great ball, like you said, Lou. But how could I not have the Nets? I know you mentioned that they have the best player in the East, but you can argue that they have 3 of the best top 5 players in the East, too.
Yeah. I think of this, Philly's a really nightmare matchup for them because, Durant runs stretch 5. He cannot cover Embiid. And then Simmons can cover either Simmons or Kyrie. Either Kyrie or Harden, but they can't cover Simmons.
Yeah.
So, that's really weird. Where does that go? And, Frank and Korkmaz. The guy's a shooter.
We're forgetting about Tobias Harris.
I know. It's a good big 3.
What is it? What do they call it? The black sheep? What's that expression?
Yeah, the black sheep.
Yeah, he's the black sheep of the 76ers. But no,
that's a bad thing.
First of all, I just want to say, ladies, find you a man that pets you the way Lou pets the Since the Sandbox
Absolutely.
studio table. I'm in awe over here. But as far as the East, I guess you can just call me Raven Simone because I see the future. Back when we called the power rankings, I said Brooklyn and Philly. I had them 2 and 3, and I'm gonna stick with it right now because Embiid's on another level. Like Lou said, I don't really think there's anyone in the East, maybe besides Giannis, that can cover Embiid. Like you said, Durant runs the stretch 5. And although Embiid may not be able to cover him, I don't think he would be able to cover Embiid either. So I think he's just a matchup nightmare in the East right now for anybody. And like you said, Tobias and Simmons are so long and athletic that they can cover both Kyrie and Harden, and they can't cover them back. So it's going to be Philly and the Nets, I'm convinced.
Those are, all great points. And Kev, you did say those teams about the East, but the West, I don't see the Pelicans anywhere, so can't let that just be forgotten. But we can transition into the West here. And guys, it might be obvious, it might be basic, but Lakers Clippers, and I just don't know how you can really argue it. Obviously, the Jazz are playing well. There's a lot of teams in the West that are playing well at this point. But I'm going to come out and say, guys, I was wrong about Paul George. He proved me wrong already this season. I thought he was going to come out and show out way worse than he already has. And he's playing like that number 2 that the Clippers committed to have him being. So him and Kawhi down the stretch of the season, I think the Clippers will end up taking that 1 seed. Not that the Lakers won't be any good, but I just think that winning in the regular season might be more of a priority to the Clippers rather than the Lakers.
And I'm going to call it now. Jazz, fool's gold.
Oh, absolutely.
Fool's gold. They'll be a solid 5 seed. I just don't, like, if Bogdanovich is, like, your third best player, and I love me some Bogdanovich.
Let's hear it.
Bogdanovich! But, like, I just can't buy it. Like, Rudy Gobert can't shoot. He can't really run the floor. He's a good defender, I mean, but, like, we saw what happens when it was, like, Donovan Mitchell versus Jamal Murray head-to-head with Jokic in there. Like, they just can't match up, and I don't think they beat the Mavericks. I don't think they beat the Suns. They don't beat the Clippers, the Lakers. And, hell, I don't know if a healthy Grizzlies team doesn't give them a run. So, that'll be fun. But, yeah, Lakers, Clippers, Paul George is playing his behind off. Kawhi's awesome. Their bench is better. I think the coaching fit works. They all actually want to show up to work. And then the Lakers are just, like, the best team in the NBA, so that's really it.
Yeah, so obviously it's gotta throw the Lakers in there. I'm gonna say the Clippers right now because I like how Paul George is playing. Although I do think I need to see him keep it up throughout the rest of the season and the playoffs.
Let's hear this.
But I will tell you,
Phoenix.
It's gonna be the Suns.
No. Clippers are my second team, but 2 teams I'm telling you to watch out for. Obviously the Denver Nuggets, but the next one, and I don't want to sound biased. But watch out for the Blazers, man. I'm telling you. I think come the end of the season, they're going to be up there. I'm telling you.
It will be tough because McCollum is out for like a month.
I know, but it's a long season. They can bounce back.
No, I mean, they'll have the time, too. You know, I just had to cop that fresh new Damian Lillard
Shout
jersey.
out Melo. Stay mellow.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But
Haters.
But, guys, that's going to wrap things up for this video. We gave you our 2 top contenders in the East. We gave you our 2 top contenders in the West. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that. And also, check out our podcast. And if it ain't 5 stars, we don't want it.